All right, let's talk about the cloud. We hear that term all the time, but what does it really mean? Today, we're going to demystify it. We're going to explore this massive shift from owning giant physical servers to just using services on demand. It really wasn't that long ago that if you wanted to launch an app or a website, you needed a warehouse full of blinking, whirring, expensive hardware. It was slow, it was costly, and honestly, a huge pain. So, what changed? Well, the answer, as you probably guessed, is in the clouds. But that's so much more than a marketing buzzword. It's a complete revolution in how we think about, access, and use computing power to build our digital world. Okay, section one, from servers to services. And really, that's the whole story right there. At its heart, this is a fundamental shift from owning stuff to, well, to renting it. So, picture this. You're running an online store, right? And during the holidays, your traffic just goes through the roof. In the old days, you had to buy enough servers to handle that crazy holiday rush. But what about the other 10 months of the year? Those expensive machines would just be sitting there, gathering dust. A huge, huge upfront cost for something you barely used most of the time. So, how does the cloud fix this massive problem? Well, it's all about different layers of service. And we're going to start at the very bottom, the foundation. Infrastructure as a Service, or IaaS for short. With IaaS, you're not buying hardware anymore. You're just renting it. You get access to all the computing power, the storage, the networking, all of it on demand. And here's the kicker. You only pay for what you actually use. That pay-as-you-go idea, it changes the entire game. And this is where it gets really interesting. Who's responsible for what? With IaaS, the cloud provider, they handle all the physical stuff. The servers, the storage, the networking cables. All that is their problem. You, on the other hand, you manage the software that runs on top of it. So your applications, your data, the operating system, that's your domain. A really good way to think about IaaS is like leasing a plot of land for factory. The land comes with all the utilities hooked up. You've got power, you've got water, everything's ready to go. The foundation is there, but you still have to build the actual factory. And the benefits? Oh, they are massive. You can spin up new server capacity in minutes, not weeks. It's way more cost-effective. And remember that e-commerce site? With IaaS, it's perfectly scalable. You can ramp up for that holiday chaos and then scale right back down in January. Paying only for that peak time, no more dusty, idle servers. Okay, so that's the foundation. Now let's move up one level. If IaaS is the land, then Platform as a Service, or PaaS, is like the workshop you build on top of it. This layer is really for the developers, for the builders. So PaaS takes things a step further. It doesn't just give you the raw, empty land. It provides a whole platform. The hardware, sure, but also the operating system, databases, and all the tools you need to actually develop, run, and manage your applications. And look what happens to that responsibility chart now. With PaaS, the provider now handles even more. They take care of the operating system and all that middleware stuff. And this is a huge deal because it frees up your developers to just focus on what they're best at, writing code and managing their application's data. So, back to our factory analogy. PaaS is like leasing a fully kitted out factory. The building is there, the machinery is already installed, and someone else maintains it for you. All you have to do is show up with your team and your raw materials and start making stuff. You can see why this is a massive game changer for software development, right? It's perfect for things like building APIs, handling Internet of Things applications, and it's the backbone of modern agile DevOps. It lets teams just build and ship stuff way, way faster. All right, now we get to the top layer, the one that pretty much all of us interact with every single day, whether we know it or not. I'm talking about Software as a Service, or SaaS. SaaS is simple. It's a complete, ready-to-use application delivered right to you through your web browser. Think about your email, or Google Docs, or your company's CRM software. You just subscribe, log in, and it works. That's SaaS. So, what's the responsibility breakdown here? It couldn't be simpler. What do you manage? Absolutely nothing. The provider handles literally everything. The ops, the data, the servers, the whole shebang. It is the ultimate inconvenience. Our final analogy, SaaS, is just like walking into a store and buying a finished product right off the shelf. You don't care how it was made or who assembled it, you just buy it and start using it. Okay, so let's put it all together in one snapshot. IaaS gives you the most control. It's your digital land. PaaS is for developers who want to build apps fast. It's your ready-made workshop. And SaaS is for pretty much everyone else. It's just easy-to-use software. See, it's a spectrum, a trade-off between control and convenience. But wait, the story doesn't end there. The evolution of the cloud is still going. The next big thing is an idea that pushes this whole concept of handing off responsibility even further. It's called serverless computing. And this last analogy, I think, really nails it. Think about serverless like the water coming into your house. You don't think about the reservoirs or the pumping stations or the pipes, right? You just turn on the tap when you need water, and the city sends you a bill for exactly how many gallons you used. That's serverless. You provide the code, the cloud runs it, and you only pay for the tiny fraction of a second that it's actually running. It's basically a three-step dance. 1, you write your code as a small, simple function. 2, something happens, an event, like a user uploads a photo, that triggers your code to run. And 3, you pay only for the milliseconds that code was executing. After that, poof, it's gone. There are 0 costs for it just sitting around. And just like that, we've come full circle. We went from owning our own clunky hardware to renting virtual servers with IaaS, then to using development platforms with PaaS, subscribing to ready-made software with SaaS, and now finally to running code without even thinking about a server at all. It's this beautiful spectrum of choice and control. And this whole journey leaves us with a really powerful final thought. Every single step we've talked about has been about removing the boring, tedious work of managing machines. It's about freeing up human brain power for creativity and for innovation. So the real question the cloud is asking all of us is this: when you no longer have to manage the machine, what amazing new ideas are you going to build?